Hi, good morning, friends and colleagues from all over the world. Welcome to the very first GPN Coffee Chat. Today we have Nora Kushti from UNDP Albania. Welcome, Nora. We're really excited to have you as our first participant in these global coffee chats, the GPN Coffee Chats that we're calling them. And UNDP Albania is participating in a very interesting initiative with Telecom Albania. Nora, good evening for you, good morning from us, and welcome. And would you like to tell us a little bit about this initiative that you're involved in and some of the objectives and what you're looking to do as part of it?
Thank you so much. It's great to talk to you this morning in New York and this afternoon in Tirana. It's a beautiful day, 25 degrees today. Although we're in the middle of the coronavirus, at least the weather is on our side. It's also amazing to be on this first coffee chat, and I'm super happy to tell you a little bit about our newest partnership with Telecom Albania. It's a national public awareness campaign, which we have called Spread the Word, Not the Virus. I'm sure UNDP people know this phrase. It's a tagline that UNDP has been using. I even had to ask for permission if I could use this tagline. They said, go ahead, it's a great tagline. So we're working with one of the biggest telecommunications company in Albania with two key objectives: spread awareness and information about COVID, combat, and most importantly, to combat fake news that's starting spreading like really fast and really bad, which sometimes they cause more harm than the virus itself. How this whole initiative started? I mean, you all know that our lives after the coronavirus, our lives changed. We started this coronavirus became the talk of the day. Phrases like social distancing, flattening the curve, those phrases we never heard before, they became the vocabulary of the day. And people were wondering what social distancing mean. Now we all know about that. And also information started spreading around. There is of course, in times of crisis, in times like this, information is really important because like we all know, it's a life-saving, it saves lives, information is key. But sometimes too much information and uncertified information can sometimes do more harm than good. I mean, in these times of stress, people are very vulnerable to fake news. So we thought like, how can we help? How can we complement the efforts of the national authorities to provide reliable information based on scientific facts and data and evidence to the public? How we can provide tips, how we can provide guidance, how to slow the spread of the virus, and most importantly, how to kill this fake news, like I said, was becoming more dangerous than the virus itself. Compared to other, let's say, situations or pandemics before, I love this phrase that this virus is a virus with strong public relations because of the evolution of social media. That's why you have this abundance of information. So that was our key and primarily aim, how to convey to the Albanian public reliable information based on statistics and on facts. We turn to who better than technology can come in use in those cases. So we turn to Telecom Albania. Like you introduce yourself, it's actually one of the biggest telecommunications company in Albania. We've had a prior experience with them. Once, like 2 years ago, we implemented a cool SDG awareness campaign, doing some unconventional things in Albania with quite a huge impact. So we turn to them this time as well, because this is one of the lessons we have learned in dealing with the private sector. In fact, I'm in charge of communications, but also with two other colleagues in our office, I'm also in charge of partnerships with private sector. The private sector, you need to cure relationship with those, with these people. It's not that you implement a project and you forget about them. You have to nourish that relationship if you like. So in a case for us, it was interesting and it was quite easy to get in touch with Telecom and jointly brainstorm what we can do to provide this exactly reliable information to the Albanian public. And this is how the campaign Spread the Word, Not the Virus came into being, actually.
Excellent. That's so fantastic. I mean, obviously, you know, the mediums that are being used to spread this message are super critical. And as you said, in today's day and age, social media is one of these key mediums. Can you tell us a little bit about what other mediums are being used? Are text messages going out? Is WhatsApp being used? Is TV or radio going to be leveraged in some way to also spread this word?
Thank you so much. Actually, this campaign, there are three key pillars of this campaign, if you like. At the very heart of the campaign is a portal, an online portal. It's where we have posted reliable information, like about the coronavirus. It's in a very user-friendly and attractive way. It's like a portal where everyone interested can learn more about what coronavirus is, what are the do's, what are the don'ts. The information is tailored to audience specific. There is information about what to do for social distancing, and all the information also advocates for people to stay at home during these times of coronavirus. So it's a web portal. To be noted here, the web portal has been made accessible by Telecom Albania to everybody who has a smart device without the need for internet connection. So people can get all this information without spending their megabytes. Because at this, particularly at this time of lockdown, you can imagine how people want to stay connected and they spend their megabytes on. So this one is made available to them for free in a user-friendly, visually attractive way. People can find all the information that they want. This is the first thing. It's all the information is there, is stored in that web portal, like I said. The other thing is the novelty of this is also a pulmonologist, a doctor who is again using technologies. We call him the online doctor. He's available 5 times a week to answer questions coming from the public. The aim of this is also for the public to have an extra source of information, so not to crowd the hospitals and not to crowd the phone lines. Also in this way, respecting social distancing, if you like, but also for the doctors to answer to case-specific issues coming from clients out there. So the doctor, as I said, is online 5 times a week. The public is informed through social media. When the doctor will be online, questions are sent either on the portal, but also using the Instagram story, the Insta story. The doctor is very well known. Yeah, Insta story, ask your questions. So they've really been crowding Telecom and UNDP's accounts, because I should have said at the very beginning, this whole campaign is being run almost aggressively on the Telecom and also UNDP Albania, all social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram for sure. So people ask questions and the doctor answers them, takes time to answer. All the answers are recorded. So there are video recordings of the answers the doctor provides to people who ask. And then these are posted through, again, social media platforms. The doctor receives all sorts of questions. I'm sure. Checking, like, I'm running a 37 degree today, doctor. Do you think I've got coronavirus? And this sign and that sign. So there are all sorts of questions, but also there are great questions that people ask. So we've been very lucky actually to be partnering with this specific doctor. So
that's really, really excellent news, because, as you rightly said, people can have all kinds of illnesses, and right now people are very worried that it could be the coronavirus, that it could be a simple fever or a cough or cold, and then people can get confused. So having a doctor on board as part of this project seems very, very interesting.
So the doctor has really been a highlight of this partnership. And the other third component, like I wanted to mention, is a social media campaign. We have produced visually attractive social media banners, which again serve the purpose of spreading information, the do's, the don'ts, how to avoid the crowds, specific tips for specific audiences, etc. And all of these are, as I said, shared in all those social media platforms. You asked also a very key element that I'd like to highlight is that we are planning to use influencers, well-known young Albanians, coming from art, from the show business. We are planning to use a reporter to further spread the message, and also kill this news that exists around that youth is invincible when it comes to corona. Actually, anyone can be like you all know, anybody can be affected by corona. So as I said, so these were the three key elements of the partnership. And of course, social media, as I said, we're almost aggressive in using information and sharing information on social media. There are tons and tons of questions coming on our direct messages, which sometimes it's impossible to answer and to get back to everybody, but we've been trying our best to actually do that.
I know. I mean, the influencers part is very, very interesting, right? For example, I mean, I'm not technically a millennial. I think I just missed out on being a millennial by a couple of years. But obviously, influencers are a big part of sort of the social fabric of today's social media, whether they're sports persons, celebrities, artists, as you said, reporters. So
yeah,
I do think that influencers can play a very, very critical role in really talking to the youth. For example, the youth that perhaps are not so engaged on traditional news channels, but do often get their news from social media. So being able to use influencers to pass some of these facts and not fiction, I think is incredibly important. And I think that the role you guys are playing alongside Telecom Albania to use influencers to spread this message is absolutely fantastic and just the right way to approach this. I mean, I have one final question for you, Nora, before we let you go. I'm sure you've had a long day. Obviously, I believe the number of cases in Albania are hovering around 500. So, this does mean that, people are following these new sort of social norms of social distancing and staying at home. Would you say that this campaign that you're involved in with Telecom Albania is having an impact? And how do you think is the best way to measure the impact of this initiative and partnership that you're involved in with Telecom Albania?
Thank you very much for the question. What I wanted to emphasize is that with this campaign, we are definitely complementing the efforts of the health authorities in Albania who are already implementing a campaign. This is like a helper, if you like, to their campaign. I think the campaign has had quite some success. How would I measure that? First of all, there were when we launched the campaign, there were over 45 news stories published in the most high-profile Albanian media.
Okay.
The requests that came from us to go on talk shows and speak about the partnership. More than 5 dedicated talk shows on this program, but we chose not to go on TV ourselves, but let the monologists go and speak about the issues, so he could also some of the questions coming. Also let him speak on behalf of both organizations. I can speak about the reach in social media. I manage UNDP social media accounts. And then I was just seeing it the other day. Only last week, we had, for example, 140 new followers and new likes on Facebook, new followers on Instagram. We don't have that huge number of followers, but we have a respected number of followers. Or let's say we have the right followers, if you like. We see an increase in the number of followers. Telecom Albania alone has got 600,000 followers on their Facebook account, let alone all the other accounts. I see that in the number of likes, in the number of shares, in the number of reactions and people writing to us. So I cannot say this project is doing wonders, but I think this project is complementing very well the efforts of the national authorities. Again, we will make a full analytics of this campaign. And again, it has just started. It's less than 3 weeks. We are new. So we are going on with that. But, and also I'm sure when we start using influencers, the reach will be even higher. And so, yeah, this is how I would say I can say that the campaign has been going on well so far, and we're looking forward to it being the same through to the end and have the intended impact.
Super, Nora. Thank you so much. I think, this was a very, very interesting first GPN coffee chat we did. It's really great to hear about, what our friends and colleagues are doing initiative-wise across the globe. The initiative with Albania Telecom sounds very, very interesting. And as you said, once the influencers really start playing their role, I think the message will spread across the country very, very fast. And I'm sure other UNDP offices could learn much from this experience that you and Telecom Albania have been involved in. So thank you so much for being with us today. Have a great rest of the week and a weekend, and stay safe. This is Shamik Day.